if there's one thing that history has taught us, it's that when it comes to factions in professional wrestling, it's always a double-edged sword. They can either work out for the long run or it backfires. For now as far as Jade Cargill is concerned, ultimately it has backfired before. If you go back to last year, 2024, it worked out for Jade Cargill, forming a faction known as the Big Three with with former world champions Naomi and Bianca Belair. Ultimately, it backfired because, well, we all know Naomi turned heel, attacking Jade Cargill in the process, thus kicking her out of War Games, which led to the rivalry that we saw earlier this year. however, however, there's been a lot of chatter going around saying that Jade Cargill might be interested in forming her own faction that wasn't the Big Three. But the question is, who would join that faction? Who would be a part? Who would be brave enough, if you will, to team with Jade Cargill in this new faction? Well, before we get to that list, we have a massive update on my PSA submissions. As you guys are fully aware, 2 months ago, I got 2 cards graded to PSA through GameStop. Ghost Rare Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon, Unlimited from Clash of Rebellion, and then the other card that got graded was Secret Rare Unlimited from Tactical Evolution, Elemental Hero Magma Neos. As of right now, and I just checked the GameStop app just a second ago before I started recording this video. It is now under the grading stages. It's literally at the grading stage, meaning that I should be getting those submissions back sometime in the next few weeks. So get ready for that. And again, guys, I will be selling them once I have them in my hands, and I reveal the grades to you guys. I will be selling them to someone out there in the world. So if you guys are interested in buying those PSA submissions, if you guys are interested in buying them, be sure to message me on my Instagram. My @ will be in the description below. Serious inquiries only. I will not sell them to scammers. And on that note, let's get down to it. So who would be the first person that would join up with Jade Cargill? First up, Michin. This is a bit of a weird situation for Michin. because for one, the only other faction that she had ever been in with WWE was the OC. was the OC alongside AJ Styles, Luke Gallows, and Carl Anderson. And it worked out for a minute. It worked out for a hot minute, but the only reason why that Michin went her separate ways from AJ Styles was because Gallows and Anderson had moved to NXT for a brief while before they ultimately got released from WWE. Michin has been a part of several factions throughout her entire career, including in TNA as part of a faction known as the Dollhouse, which I believe was her, Marty Bell, and Taryn Terrell, I believe was her name. So she knows a thing or two about factions, and the fact that Michin has been in more backstage segments than almost anyone in the women's division can definitely be one proof that as long as she, is if her and Jade Cargill can maintain a budding relationship, then they could actually become a very powerful duo to deal with. But with that in mind, there is someone else. There are actually several others that could potentially join Jade Cargill's new faction, and the next one up is Bianca Belair. The crazy thing about this is that both of these two ladies plus Naomi were a part of the big three, and let's not forget Bianca and Jade were our former women's tag team champions. In fact, they're actually two-time tag team champions together. So that right there is definitely proof that we could see those two come back together for one more run, because at this point Jade Cargill's singles run, it's not working out, and it's getting to a point where Jade Cargill is more suited as a tag team competitor rather than a singles competitor, and the only person that can help her get to potential main event status is Bianca Belair, because Bianca at one point in her career she did main event WrestleMania, so she could learn a lot from the EST of WWE. But with her still completely out of action with a broken finger, there's really no telling when she'll be back in the ring. The other, now again there are six people. Here is number 3, which is BFAB. Interestingly enough, BFAB and Jade have had they had a few backstage segments together alongside Michin. So those four together, BFAB, Michin, Jade plus Bianca, I could totally see it. I can totally see it happening. Like, I could totally see excuse me. BFAB and Michin going after the women's tag team titles, Bianca going after the WWE women's title, and Jade Cargill going after the women's United States title. That's it's possible. It's possible. I mean, when you look at female factions that took over WWE, I mean, you've got factions like Damage Control, where they completely took over. They literally took over SmackDown like it was nothing. And you also have Toxic Attraction as well, where, if you guys do not remember Toxic Attraction, it was Mandy Rose, who at the time was the NXT Women's Champion, JC Jane and Gigi Dolan, the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions, and they dominated NXT with an iron fist. So BFAB, I could totally see it, but I think with her allegiance to the Street Profits, one could argue that BFAB might not be the best choice, but it would be interesting. Next up is Lash Legend. There is definitely a lot of promise when it comes to the Bougie Bully. Probably one of, if not the fastest rising star in the NXT women's division. I think second to possibly possibly Julia and Stephanie Vaquer, because they're both tied at first for the fastest rising stars in the women's division in NXT. So the fact that Lash Legend has had a lot of success since Mara Sade. I think is her name, once known as Jakara Jackson in NXT. Ever since she left NXT to go over to to TNA, there's been a lot of promise when it comes to Lash Legend. In fact, she's been on a massive roll as of late, and with the fact that many people believe that she is ready for the main roster, one could argue that she could potentially be a talent that she could learn from Jade Cargill. But I got a feeling that Lash Legend, she has a long way to go before getting called up to the main roster. Another person that could also join forces with Jade Cargill, and this is going to be probably one of the most controversial picks, but Nia Jax. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, wait a minute, why Nia Jax? The answer is simple. They may hate each other, but they have mutual respect for one another in that ring, because they've taken each other to the absolute limit on numerous occasions this entire year. And when you look at everything that Nia Jax has done, Jade Cargill has only been in WWE for close to 2 years. Actually, it's been about 2 years. Right around this time is 2 years that she signed her contract with WWE, but she never made a decision on where she was going to go, whether it was Raw, SmackDown, or NXT. Funny enough, she ended up choosing SmackDown, which I don't blame her. I don't blame her, because Jade Cargill was one of the biggest, was one of the hottest free agents in professional wrestling, because of the fact that she was with what was that promotion? AEW, I think. I don't know. I don't watch other promotions anymore other than WWE, so I do apologize, but I think it's AEW. And from what I had seen on social media, she held one of their championships for a long time, which was like the longest reign ever. So she could learn a lot from Nia Jax, but Nia Jax could also learn a lot from Jade Cargill as well, which is very possible. But there is one other person that I could see teaming with Jade Cargill in her new faction, and who could it be? Speaking of fast rising stars, Jada Parker. Yeah, enough said. We hadn't seen OTM in a hot minute. Jade Cargill has been doing things on her own. She's become again another fast rising star, and she even came off of a huge opportunity at No Mercy this past weekend, where she, even in spite of losing the opportunity against Sol Ruka for the women's speed title, Jada Cargill has not Jada Cargill, Jada Parker has proven to be one of the biggest stars in NXT. And imagine the faction, right? Like between these 6 women, if there were 2 or 3 others that I could see being, teaming with Jade Cargill, it would probably have to be Jada Parker, Bianca Belair, B-Fab, and Michin. That right there would be a huge ordeal, because of the fact that both Bianca Belair and Michin can teach Jada Parker and can also teach B-Fab and Jade Cargill a lot about the business and how to conduct themselves as champions. So it's possible But again, there's still a long way to go. I think for right now, Jade Cargill should just go at it on her own. But I know that she's been interested in wanting to start up a faction again. But we'll see. We'll see. I don't know exactly when we can expect this new faction, but if it happens, it'll be very interesting to say the very least. But with that being said, that'll do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more WWE topic videos in the future, then be sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all of my social media. All of my ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.